about it.
Okay, so Jess, anyway, I'm so happy that you're here to talk with us about your vision of your Gandhi work and the puppets, and possibly even creating a Kasturba puppet to go with there. And how would that work? And tell us a little bit about your vision.
Sure. So what I've been planning to do for a while now is to take the Gandhi Mobile around the world for climate change in conjunction with Extinction Rebellion. I'm actually starting an Extinction Rebellion chapter in Marin. And Extinction Rebellion, just briefly, is a global movement focusing on climate change, nonviolent global movement. And they fit perfectly with how I feel about how things need to change. And they're big. They're very they're not so big in the United States, although they're growing, but they are a worldwide, huge worldwide movement.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And nonviolent. They get it. That's the only way things can really change, is through nonviolence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the only way. And so the plan is to, first of all, I need to get an electric Ford F-150. The Ford that I currently have, which came my way for free, so I couldn't say no to that, because I was awarded the Martin Luther King Award by the Marin Human Rights Commission. Indirectly, I got that truck. And so I converted the truck into the Gandhi Mobile. But I can't really take a gas guzzler, which it is, around the world promoting climate change. So I have a couple of connections with the board of Ford Motor Company. And so I'm going to ask them to contribute a Ford Lightning to the project, and it'll be cheap advertising for them if I go around the world with their Ford. So I have a feeling they'll say yes. Plus, I have two pretty substantial connections, and so what I plan to do is build another Gandhi Mobile, which would accommodate a partner to Gandhi, Kasturba, and his partner in life, and I personally feel, if this world is going to change for the better, it needs to be led by women. So it's just very appropriate that you and I have discovered Kasturba when we did, and the fact that she was so instrumental in Gandhi's life and his the direction that he took in terms of nonviolence. Pretty amazing that neither of us knew about this up until just recently. Yeah.
This work of bringing forth who she was, what she did, and how she contributed. And we haven't even heard the half of the story yet.
Yeah.
She's working on the second documentary film, which goes into a lot of the work, but he would never have been able to cultivate and develop what he developed if it hadn't been for her influence.
Yeah.
And her demonstration and her modeling. And so talk about suppression of something that's so essential for people to know. And then that they, in the documentary, when they talk about the research of what nonviolent movement protests that were successful and really worked were the ones that were really led and involved women, and made it huge. And so, we don't have time not to be successful. We have to get on this. And so that's why I'm so inspired and want to support you in seeing how we can help facilitate your getting the Gandhi wife, Kasturba's puppet, made to go and join with that. So I'd love to also know a little bit about the time frame of what you think might be wanted and needed, and what amount of time you have to do to make something like this.
Well, quite honestly, I am looking for a partner. And when I do projects like this, it's more fun, of course, to do it with a partner, and also more constructive in terms of getting things done. So the partner is kind of on the top of my agenda, but that doesn't mean that I'm not moving forward at the same time. But I am letting people know that I'm looking for a partner to do this with.
And when you say partner, what is that? You mean like a corporate sponsor, or you
No,
mean
no,
somebody
a,
that, an artist who can actually make it, or?
a partner, someone who will live with me and live her life with me.
Oh, that,
Someone that
I,
I fall in love with, and someone who falls in love with me.
well, listen, I don't think you will have long to wait.
We'll see. It's interesting. This is the first time in my life that I have been completely free. My kids are both my sons are total successes. They're on their own and doing well. Both my parents have passed on. I ended a relationship 2 years ago, and so I'm a free man. But I know I have work to do, and I also would like to finish my life with a partner. So that's, as I say, the top of my list, to find someone to work with. I built a restaurant with a partner 50 years ago, the Blue Heron Inn on the Russian River in Duncan's Mills, and we had a blast doing that. We ended up having 30 employees and seating for over 100, and it was a grand success. But I wouldn't have liked to have done that alone. So I'm looking for someone to join me in this endeavor as well, to, as I say, to finish out our lives together. So yeah, it's it's going to be more than just going around the world. I think that it's more than climate change that we'll be promoting. My sense is that we'll be so in love with each other that we'll be igniting love as we go as well. So that's my hope and dream.
Sacred divine partnerships. I every year on February 22nd, which is 222, the partnership number, we do a show, a broadcast that came out of Barbara Marx Hubbard's vision. And I heard her speak one time at a workshop, and she was talking about, well, if we really want to have evolved, enlightened partnerships, we better start getting together with those people who are actually experimenting with that and who are exploring the edges of what does it take to be in an enlightened partnership. And I thought to myself, wow, I love that idea. So for the last 13 years, we have been bringing couples together who are actually deep in the heart of exploring how to be in enlightened partnerships. They haven't all been perfect. But they have been in the question, and they have used a relationship. And so the videos of them talking, and it is always such an incredible, juicy conversation, because what comes out of that is the learning that they're going through, and they share from their heart, and they open up, and then they start sparking each other and getting into a really amazing conversation to really understand what does that take to have sustainable, loving, honest, integrity filled, enlightened partnership. And boy, when we bring people like that together, what they can accomplish. So this is a wonderful vision, and I support you in this vision.
Thank you, Christy. Who sponsors that?
I do. I've been doing it. Yes, I've been doing it. And people, we before COVID, we were doing it with Unity and Marin. And we would host it at Unity and Marin. And people would come and sit in circles, and I'd have like 3 or 4 couples that would come and share authentically about who they were and what they were doing and how and then when we got into COVID, we went online through the Awaken World show with Scott Katamas's and Deborah Justy's, the Global Peace Tribe.
Yeah.
So we're able to bring couples now on from all over. And this will be the 14th year coming up this February.
Wow.
That we'll be doing it. But it's a conversation because it actually helps open up the conversation and open up the understanding of what is wanted and needed. Like, for example, one year we had women who were very powerful women. They were top-notch coaches, heads of their own companies, very successful, dynamic women. And so what was really interesting, and we didn't even know this was going to happen, but as the women began to talk, they started to say that when they wanted to be in a partnership, or when they entered into the partnership or the relationship that they had, they told their partner, listen, we're going to get triggered, both of us, because of our past conditioning. But if you want to be in relationship with me, you got to have a therapist, because we have to work through it. And so, but what I don't want you to do is attack me, and I don't want to attack you. So I want you to agree to, if we're going to take this further, and so that you will work with a therapist. Well, the guys got up, and turns out almost all the guys in the partnership circle that we had of the different couples were actually had therapists. And to hear men talk about, oh my God, how great it was to have a therapist. It was such a relief for them. It was
I
like,
have I have a therapist.
yes, that's
I
very
do.
important, because they could take it to their therapist and sort out through their feelings and their emotions, and even determine what their feelings were, and then get their clarity. And then they came together with their partnership, and it made it work so much better. But it was so needed for men to hear,
Yeah.
yes, it's okay for you to get that level of support, and you need that level of support if you really want. We come from a traumatized culture. I mean,
Yeah.
Garbro Mate has got this great book about the myth of normalcy, and there's so much wounding that's present in our culture. And so but we do need power couples. We need couples who want to do the work, who want to change the world, and it's going to be important. So
Well, I've had therapists off and on, and it's funny you should bring this up because um, I have do you know what EMDR is?
yeah,
Yeah. And there's a therapist who does that to
you
clear up
should
your,
explain it, because some people may not know.
well, okay, what does it stand for? Eye movement desensitization rehabilitation, I think is the R. But basically, you're looking at a dot that goes back and forth, and you're re-examining what happened to you in your childhood, so that doesn't have the charge anymore as an adult that it had back then, and it really works. And I, I'm in the process of negotiating with my insurance company to see how much they're willing to pay. But I told her that my therapist to be, that once we work that out, I'll see her, and I said it'd probably be better. The timing would be better because I'll probably be in a partnership then, and I'll probably need it more than I do now. Need her more than I do now. But I think therapy is a wonderful thing to do, especially with your partner. And by the way, I am looking for a strong woman, because what my preference is for me, for her to take the wheel of the Gandhi mobile, so to speak. And because it is time for women to step up to the plate if things are going to change in this world, because men gave it a shot, but I don't think they were very successful. So it's really time for women to take over. So I'm not really interested in taking that wheel of the Gandhi mobile. So it's going to be a strong woman that I meet, and of course the relationship is going to be a challenge for both of us, but that's how you grow, and I'm totally on board for growth. So yeah, that's what I want.
Well, I wish you the best on that run.
Yeah.
So making the puppet, you're saying you want to get the relationship first.
Pretty much. And well, there are a lot of things that have to happen before the puppet happens, because I'll have to get the new truck, because the new truck, the head that's currently in the Gandhi mobile takes up the whole
Yeah, I was wondering
head,
about that.
the whole bed of the truck. And
I
there's
don't
no,
know if you can share screen and show us a picture of your truck and the,
oh, let's see, do I have a picture? Let's see. All photos.
yeah. Because this is a bit of an info commercial.
Here's a picture of the back of the Gandhi mobile. Let's see, hopefully you can see it. Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, yeah,
And so that's the back. And
right,
that's the head in the back of the Gandhi mobile.
right. It takes up the
So
whole window.
it takes, yeah, it's a big head. We're moving ahead with love with the Gandhi mobile. And
Right,
head is in capital letters.
right.
But the new truck would require a new construction. So I'd keep the original head, but perhaps I would put Kasturba over the cab so that she would be leading us.
Oh,
So
right,
that's a whole. I'll have to figure that out. That'll involve a conversation with people and the builders and all that. But
right.
but yeah, I'd love to have her on there.
Yeah. Well, finding out this information about who she was, and I'm just very excited. And I'm thinking that, well, there's because of the role that, Martin Luther King actually went to India to study with Gandhi to learn about how to use nonviolent communication.
Mhm.
And in 2013, I did the Martin Luther King event celebration at Unity in Marin.
Mm.
And what we did was we told the story about the women behind King. And some of the African American friends of mine who came, they were like, "Whoa, I had no idea."
Mm. I'll bet.
Because, wh- what Scott King's journey was, and she was getting the death threats, and she was on the front lines with King side by side with him, and plus she had the responsibility of the children. This was back in the 60s, so
Yeah.
um she had more of that to carry on her shoulders. And um so to hear what was happening from her perspective and what she had to go through was really powerful.
Yeah.
And then also finding out that it was Rosa Parks nudging King, after she refused to, give up her seat. She said, you know, King, you have to start the Montgomery bus boycott.
Mhm.
And if she hadn't have really pushed King into doing that, um, it would have delayed the civil rights movement, which
Yeah.
is, of course, having a lot of problems right now with, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't understand, this deep form of prejudice that exists. And, I had the good fortune of being raised in Hawaii, where you couldn't go anywhere where it wasn't multiracial, because you had the rich Chinese and the rich Japanese and the rich Hawaiians living in areas. So it was more divided by poverty, but poverty was always in Hawaii was so integrated. We had interracial marriages. Everybody was pretty much, my brother married a Hawaiian gal.
Mm.
And so it was like, that was common everyday occurrence, and not a shocking illegal event like my girlfriend, who's same, you know, around the same age. Her parents got married in the South. Her father was a physician and her mother was a white woman. And they had to go to Canada because their lives were in danger
Mm.
for being married.
Yeah.
and and what incredible people they were. And the social justice work her mom did really influenced her. Um and so anyway, it's kind of crazy that people, it's like, what part of human do you not understand? I
Well, I was raised in Pennsylvania in a typical middle class family, and it's I hate to say it, mom and dad, but the racism was there, and
Yeah.
it was it's hard to break away from that. Yeah,
But I think our growing up in the 70s and with the civil rights movement and everything, it I know it, for me it was really helpful, and I was championing that cause and doing whatever I could,
yeah,
and continue to do whatever I could, because I never believed in a million years that we would still be at war, we would still have segregation going on
Yeah.
at this time. It's like, what? It's like we were supposed to be, in a much better condition, based on the work we did as teenagers and young adults. It's kind of shocking. So I'm still very knee deep in my social justice work,
Mm.
and I've been a very active part of the Unity.Earth group. I don't know if you know them or not.
No, I don't.
Um, well, they're an interesting group of people. They now just launched their television station, Unity.Earth, Unity Earth.tv. It's like to broadcast, and it's a global organization that's made up out of a lot of people from all over the world that are doing peace work, including they work very closely with Pathways to Peace, that was out of Marin, and um, and they have a Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock Zoom meeting that's kind of like your global family meeting.
Mm, mm,
And it's really kind of endearing. It's like people come on and they share as if they were family.
mm.
And these are all leaders who are involved in various ways and doing amazing projects. And they've created a database, and they do things in a very organic, inspired way. They have, like, we just had this past September, International Peace Day, we had a whole peace week where people offered all kinds of programs and whatnot, and that's where they showed. And I sent you the link to the Kasturba documentary
Mhm.
was released, and the interview with the woman who um, produced it. And so, you know, and the, anyway, I can just go on and on, and it's like, I think that, like what you said earlier about women, I feel that the suppression of women, that's been one of my passions, is bringing to light what has been suppressed and
Mm.
bringing that forward, because telling those stories. So I'm thinking, an MLK weekend film review of this, maybe the Raphael Theater might do it, and I can see your Gandhi mobile out front of the Raphael Theater.
Yeah, I love parking it there. There's a whiteboard on the side and colors, so that what I generally do is I'll ask a question and then people respond to the question. And
Right.
so I that's one of my favorite things to do, is to park it in a place where there are a lot of people and then come out and see what they've written on there. It's always delightful.
Right, exactly, exactly. So maybe the Raphael Theater might be willing to showcase. I'm surprised if they haven't already. Um, but I want to look into that and to see, what might happen, because
I
they
just actually saw Joan Baez's um, I guess documentary, I Am a Noise, uh,
uh-huh.
yesterday at the Raphael. Yeah, it's a wonderful theater. I love it there.
Yeah. And they guess they have the funding to be able to pay the licensing fee, and
They have a lot of donors.
yeah, to do that. So to me, that would be a great place to release the film, and to even have one of those nights where they bring the uh, producer out for Q&A after the film.
Yeah,
And then I'm sure between the social justice groups that and Unity and Marin, and bringing, Marin Interfaith Council people together, that we could probably create. Somebody would have frequent flyer miles to bring her out. Somebody would have a guest bedroom in their house that would be nice and appropriate to accommodate her stay. And then, because she charges $1,000 for it, but it's worth it to fund her now, because she needs the funding to be able to put the second film together. And so between supporting her and getting the funding, and um, we could do this filming either in I don't know if we do, it's a little close to do it for the MLK weekend.
Mhm.
But the other possibility is during the month of February, when it's Black History Month, to just talk about, it's like showing the roots um, of you know, the tracing the roots back to how did Gandhi really, how did, King really get influenced by, and she touches on it a little bit in the film. Um, but we could, embellish that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or March, which is Women History Month. And so that would also be a month that would be, and March might work even better.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping that somehow the puppet of
Takes a lot. It took 6 months to make him,
yeah.
and probably even a little bit longer than that. And there's an interesting story behind that. I initially wanted to make him to support a work stoppage day in San Francisco for the upcoming war in Iraq. And I was looking for something to, I just wanted to have him in a backpack and put the website on his chest. And so I was looking for something to form the head with, to put the paper mache on. And I went into Hopscotch Kids in Mill Valley, and there was a woman in there who insisted that I use this beach ball. I mean, she really insisted, and I just couldn't say no. And so I used the beach ball, and of course, it was too big for the backpack, and ended up being a 9 foot tall puppet. But that's how the head got as big as it got, was because of this one woman insisting that I use the beach ball for the
Right. But then when you go out and march with that 9 foot puppet, he really gets attention.
He does, but after, I guess it was in 2015, I just put it out to the universe. I said, look, this is too much. I'm pushing and pulling you and
Oh,
praise. It's just too much. And lo and behold, he gets me a truck. So
all
now,
right.
I just drive him around in a truck, and that works.
All right. Wonderful. All right. So anyway, this is the vision and the dream of what we can move forward on, and maybe we'll post this video up to see what gets inspired and what can evolve out of it.
Well, one last thing.
Yeah.
I also plan to be on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Oh,
And I'm going to ask him for a 10-minute once a week slot to travel to film our trip around the world, because what we'll be doing, my partner and I, is interviewing climate change celebrities. And I think his audience would like that. And I think Ford would like that. So all these pieces are really coming together. The only thing I need right now is a partner.
I
So
somehow highly doubt that that's going to be a problem.
I think she'll show up when she's supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you'll have no problem with that. There's a lot of really good women out there, and
Yeah.
boy, you get a man with a heart and a passionate mission,
Yeah.
not afraid of a powerful woman, and
Not at all.
it's
I-
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, lots to think about here, and we'll move forward, and let me know how it goes, and stay posted. We may have to do a Facebook page on Kasturba or something, the
Sure.
Kasturba puppet, and start a GoFundMe campaign for you or something.
Yeah.
Because I imagine you need funds to build the puppet.
Well, I think, all that's going to come together. And so money hasn't been an issue up until now, and I don't anticipate it being an issue. But sure, if someone wants to pay for the puppet,
All right. Well,
I would make.
you keep me posted then.
I will. Thank you,
Okay.
Christine. I really appreciate your putting this together.
All right. This is fun. And I'm so glad you have this incredible inspired vision, and we shall talk again.
Very good.
More shall
Take
be revealed, right? As they say.
Yes.
All right. Great. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care.